2 million women across the world suffer from obstetric fistula, a pregnancy-related illness that causes women to urinate unawares. There are almost 1 million of these women in Nigeria. Described by the United Nations Population Fund as the most devastating pregnancy-related disability, causing extreme physical and psychological trauma. My name is Melanie Ishola, and I'm a journalist, but more importantly, I'm a mother. And having been pregnant 3 times, I feel passionate about this subject matter and baffled as to why my country, Nigeria, accounts for almost half of the 2 million women living with vesicovaginal fistula across the world. What's even more important is that I'm telling a story of solutions available to such women in my country. UNICEF says close to 800,000 Nigerian women are currently living with this condition. Northern Nigerian women account for the highest cases. For every woman who dies from childbirth complications, there are 20 to 30 other women who suffer from birth or pregnancy-related complications, such as fistula.
It was not easy when I was leaking like a baby, because the urine has no control, it just be coming out. 2018, that was when they did DCS for me. I lost the baby, dusty bites, because of the long labor. I couldn't do the operation on time. And I was having fiber at the same time.
Gaskiya yanzu ban jin daɗi abin da ke damuna. Ina so don Allah a taimaka.
If you enter my room, they do like this. Your foot full on top of it. They do like this.
You are smelling. I beg go and bath. Hey, Zainab, I beg. Akwai lokacin da ya ce in je gida.
Mrs. Ebuchi, the matron at Mother and Child Care Primary Health Center, spoke to me on the belief fueling this highly preventable and equally treatable condition that leaves many languishing in pain.
Before the awareness, this one is always our problem. One, they will tell you their husband doesn't want them to come to the hospital. One, they themselves, they don't want to come to the hospital. They leave it in Ika ones, or the people that has money that comes to the hospital.
When these women refuse to access skilled delivery in hospitals, they're at the mercy of traditional birth attendants who cannot handle emergencies, often resulting in VVF. Mrs. Ebuchi's explanations pointed to an NGO in Niger State, Race Foundation, creating awareness and offering free reconstructive surgeries for women with VVF.
When we go to communities like that, we usually take it from the traditional rulers and religious leaders angle. We need you to encourage your women to go for antenatal, and then also we encourage you to take these women for deliveries at the health facilities.
After leaving Ruth, we traveled the Poor Mina Kwatangura Road, heading north of Niger State, a major hotspot for VVF. This is Dr. Amina Bello Women Health Center, also called the VVF Center, owned and operated by Race Foundation. You can call this place a sanctuary for women undergoing VVF repairs. Inside this center, you see scores of women holding potties connected to catheters. Many of them have just had surgeries performed and are now in their healing phases.
Initially, it was thought that it's early marriage that leads to vesicovaginal fistula, the obstetric fistula. But what we realize is it's not just about the early marriage, but rather from the prolonged labor. If a woman is labor, if she encountered a prolonged labor and she doesn't get intervention within this populated time, of course, she's at risk of having obstetric fistula. Then other causes, we're seeing a lot of iatrogenic causes of obstetric fistula nowadays. Iatrogenic meaning it's actually caused by the health care worker. What happens is that when a woman, yes, she's in prolonged labor or probably she has any reason for any surgical intervention, and when an incision is made on the uterus, the baby is being delivered. So at times in trying to suture the uterus back, inadvertently there might be stitching of the bladder to the uterus.
Here in Niger State, VVF doesn't only affect women. We also see girls, but not for reasons such as child marriage, but rather female genital mutilation and rape. And there is also the rare case of Khadija, a 9-year-old girl who was born with fistula.
When I gave birth to Khadija, she was constantly leaking. When I inquired, I was told it was a natural occurrence for babies.
Once they are healed and they go back, they become our mouthpiece in their communities. Instead our MNCH interventions, if I must say, we started by cooperating traditional birth attendants as our mobilizers. They became our foot soldiers. They're the ones that were taking home deliveries for these women. Now we give them stipends every month. They are like our staff in those communities. So they are the ones now when the women come to them, as usual, home delivery, I'm in labor, she takes them to the PHC.
Just like Kabira, not a real name, a traditional birth attendant we met at a primary healthcare center in Kwatangura.
If I check the card of a woman and I've heard that there is high blood pressure and I notice that her leg is swelling, so I don't conduct their delivery. I used to refer them to General Hospital.
After the surgery, 2-3 weeks, she's in the ward, or 4 weeks, or even up to 6 weeks, she can be on catheter within the ward. But a catheter is being removed and she's dry. That's alone, it's a form of rehabilitation. We have a counselor. What she does is to actually counsel those women, give them some form of psychotherapy for the mental injury the obstetric fistula must have caused. Then also, we also have vocational skills whereby we train these women to acquire.
If I say, okay, let's just train all of them in tailoring, it's possible that in their village, they don't, that's not what sells in the community. So usually we do like a survey. What sells them? Do you have tailors? Do you think that making of hair cream, hair conditioner, room freshener, all of these little things, do you think is going to sell? We now train them for 2 weeks. And then we give them starter packs as well.
I am not leaving Kwatangura a sad woman. Aisha, who had a baby at home because her husband insisted, told me she would get her repairs soon. Khadija is dry and going home soon, although she told me she'd love to stay back at the VVF center if allowed. Lydia is hopeful she would conceive finally. She told me she just had the surgery done, and this would improve a chance of having a baby. But there is yet another place to visit.
I have come to the Commissioner for Health in Niger State, Dr. Bello Tukur, to ask him what is being done to get pregnant women into antenatal care, and also what provision is made for adequate and emergency obstetric care.
We are currently working on a program to ensure that we incentivize antenatal care. And we find that a woman has attended antenatal care throughout the pregnancy, but she does not deliver in the facility. You find that in some of our facilities, you do not have a single midwife there. Or it's only one person. That's the trained staff in that facility. And by 4 o'clock, the person locks the facility and goes home. We are trying to make sure that at least each of our primary healthcare facilities has at least 2 midwives, and they can operate 24 hours.
Race Foundation has repaired 746 women in Niger State, although this covers less than 1% of the nation's obstetric fistula burden. They shared that limited funding constitutes a major setback. But you at least get a sense that this is a step in the right direction, especially as these women are reintegrated back into their communities intact.
Ba voli, ba wani abu makamancin haka. Na gode.